What's up, guys? Ladies and germs, how we doing tonight? All right, let's go. Can I get a show of hands? How many of you know what the Socratic method is? If you know what the Socratic method is, just raise your hand. I see a lot of hands not raised, so I'll explain briefly. The Socratic method is a teaching approach where the audience, rather than the lecturer, leads the discourse during a class. So basically the professor will come in, introduce a topic, and then he'll pass it off to a random student who has to take over the lecture for the next period of time. Now I see you guys looking a little puzzled, like, what the hell are you doing starting this speech talking about the Socratic method? Well, let me tell you, I spent a lot of time trying to come up with a good opener. I ran a bunch of ideas by my highly compensated consultant, who also happens to be my brother Jimmy. And if you were at my wedding, he's pretty goddamn good at giving these speeches, so he should be highly compensated. But I ran the ideas by him, and he described my ideas as, and I quote, relatively funny, but not very relatable. She was right. I think if you asked my wife to describe me to her coworker, she'd say, John, relatively funny, but not very relatable. I just couldn't do it. I'm not funny or relatable. And then it hit me. I don't have to. There's no rule against using the Socratic method to start one of these speeches. Someone in the audience can do it for me. So that's what's going to happen. One of you is going to be randomly selected. You're going to have to come up here, introduce yourself, and you'll have 30 seconds to open this speech for me. And seriously, don't screw it up. My consultant's a very tough judge, and there's some more out here. So before you all came in here today, I actually taped some items underneath seats. And if you're in the lucky chair with one of these items, you may or may not have to come up here, introduce yourself, and give a 30-second opening. So without further ado, can you all check under your seats? And if you've got something, raise it up, let me know. They should be tucked right under the front of this seat, taped right under there, pull it up. If you've got one, hold it up. Who's got it? Tucked under there. There's a few out there. We got one over here. We got one over here. I see a couple shooters. I think there's one at that back table back there. I don't know if anybody's holding anything up yet. We got one. So there's a lot of shooters taped under the table, but there's also a copy of Big Red Our Time, which, if you don't know, the groom was actually part of a football team that had a book written after him. So that's the lucky item. You those disgusting shooters, you can drink them. I asked Tom to get a couple. He got like the grossest ones he could find. You can do what you want with those. But I'm gonna approach you guys, and you're gonna have 30 seconds to open this speech up for me. Again, don't screw it up, please. I forgot one thing. I've never met anyone that loves a good old-fashioned prank more than the groom himself. So when he asked me to be his best man, I had to make someone excessively nervous just so he could get some sick pleasure out of it. You're my victim. I'm sorry, you're stuck with my relatively funny but not very relatable jokes for the rest of this one. You're all set. So, what am I going to talk about? I want to accomplish 3 things during this toast. Number 1, pull off some kind of prank so Dominic can get sick pleasure. Check. We're done with that one. You guys can relax. Number 2, send a few shout-outs to some really important people. And number 3, leave everyone here with an anecdote or a story that they didn't know about the couple before the speech started. And as the bridesmaid said, I'm supposed to keep this under 7 minutes. I think I'm probably around 3.5 right now. So I'll do my best to keep it under, but I have no promises made. Goal number 2, shout outs. I'm actually going to ask for your participation in these. So instead of the golf clap, we're gonna give our best Ric Flair style woos to the people. Groomsmen, can you demonstrate for me quick? On the count of 3, I want you guys to give your best Ric Flair style woo. All right? We say woo on 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right, we got it. So when I say woo on 3 from now on, I need you guys to give me your best. Put your loins into it. Woo on 3. All right? Because if you don't, you're just disrespecting the recipients of these shout-outs. First shout-out of the day goes out to the bride. It might sound cliche, and it really doesn't after all, the ceremony and these speeches, but Dominic did know you were the one from the beginning. About 10 years ago, Dom came to me and told me about this new girl that he'd started seeing at AU. I'll never forget it. He described you so eloquently, like a line plucked from a famous romance poem or a Frank Sinatra song. He said, "Dude, I'm seeing a new girl. She's super hot, and she's chill. Like, I actually like hanging out with her because she's cool. It's nuts." A little different than a spouse day, but that's actually what he said. Super hot and chill, a pretty decent compliment from a college kid in 2015. As a good friend should, my buddy Dylan, who's sitting right here, called his bluff. What do you know? Scabble kisses a girl he's gonna marry, he's in love. But Dom insisted. He loved this girl and he's gonna marry her. So the two made a wager on whether they would be married one day. This was 10 years ago. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are sitting here just so Dom could win a dumb betting game tonight. But let me point out a few things. Point 1. This situation loosely tracks the plot of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Point 2. Dom is the biggest sucker for rom-coms from the 2000s that I've ever met. Point 3. He's kind of acted out these rom-coms or inserted little parts from them in his love life before. I know that for a fact. And point 4, above all else, he loves taking Dylan's money from him in bets. So can we really rule it out? Either way, Dylan owes you some money, and I saw the check, and it's consistent with his lost bets in the past. It's for a lot of money. So congratulations, you guys. Hannah, seriously, all these years later, Dom's description was spot on. You're stunning, confident, and the most gracious host to myself and all of our idiotic friends. You couldn't be better. And most of all, you make Dom a better version of himself. I couldn't be happier for both of you guys today. So congratulations to you, you super hot chiller, you. Here we go. First shout out on 3. We're gonna say woo on 3, all right? 1, 2, 3. Woo! There we go. All right. Second shout out tonight goes to both of the parents of the bride and groom. To the parents of the bride, I don't know where you guys are sitting. You're somewhere. It's been my pleasure getting to know all of you over the last couple of days. You're all so kind, and it's no surprise that Hannah turned out to be the lovely lady that she is today. The apple really doesn't fall far from the tree. And to Mr. Lawrence, great job on today's ceremony. That's something that they're going to cherish for the rest of their life. Super cool. And to the parents of the groom, it's been my pleasure getting to know you guys for the last 32 years of my life. You seem like great people too, but the jury's still out. I needed a couple more years to decide. Aunt Ann and Uncle Rich, it goes without saying, you've been great parents to Dominic, great pseudo-parents to the rest of us morons that grew up on Rolab with him. Really couldn't ask for better people better godparents, a better aunt and uncle. There's nothing better than the warm welcome that I've always felt when I get to your guys' house. And it's funny because Aunt Ann, you did exactly what I'm going to say right now yesterday. Aunt Ann's patented, "Hey, honey!" Big hug, and then one of those kisses where she goes like, kisses the lips, but it's with her cheek. It's the best. You guys know how to make someone really feel welcome in your house. I love you guys. So congrats to all of you, and thanks for everything you've done for the couple, not only today, but throughout their entire lives. You guys rock. So second shout out of the night. Y'all ready to put the moins in? Number 2 shout out of the night. We say root on 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Let's go. All right. On to the man of the hour, the love poet himself, my big-headed cousin. For a long time, I planned on using his speech just to roast him for a good 10 minutes. And if you know Dom, there's some really low-hanging fruit out there. There's his giant head. But the lowest hanging fruit is that dirty mustache that our entire childhood. And when I say entire childhood, I'm not exaggerating. Hannah, I just want you to be forewarned. I don't think the Scavos have showed you this picture, but I brought a baby picture in today from Dominic. Thank you, Johnny, for keeping this a secret. But I brought it in, and doctors have never seen a baby that looked like this. Birthday suit, fully grown mustache. I don't know. The doctor said they've never seen anything like it around here, but there might be a doctor on Long Island that's seen something like it, because I've never seen my Uncle Rich without a mustache, so I don't know. So consider yourself warned, yeah. You can keep it. Bring it on the flight home. It might fit me overhead compartment. Anyways, one day when I was driving to work over the past 4 months thinking about this speech, I heard something that changed my mind about what I wanted to do. And it was something that Kanye West said. You guys keep up with Kanye West, it's going a lot of different directions. It was about something him and his cousin did. Yeah, some of you are laughing. Those of you that didn't laugh, just don't Google Kanye West's cousin. It's better off you don't know what that joke is. But really, I was listening to an old Kanye song where he said, if you admire someone, you should go ahead and tell them. People never get their flowers while they can still smell them. I thought, Eureka. Mustache grows out, Dom's metaphorical flowers in. Here they are, my friend. I love Dom for many reasons. He's the single most reliable friend I have. You have a problem, you call Dom. He always answers, and he's always there to talk. Honestly, sometimes he just doesn't shut up. And you know that better than anybody. But it's true, and it's always been like that. When 12-year-old me talked a bunch of crap in a neighborhood football game across the street and was facing an imminent ass whooping by 2 guys, did I sack up and fight it myself? Hell no. I ran across the street, called Dom at 324-3744 and asked him to come fight the tougher one for me. And he did. Now that we're older, it's still the same. Get arrested, find yourself in jail with one phone call to make, you're calling Dom. There's a couple people in here that know that's true from experience. You know who you are. Lauren says not all of Dom's friends have been arrested. There's 1 or 2 that have. Now some of you might be thinking, oh yeah, you called Dom because he's a lawyer. Yeah, he's a lawyer, but he's not a criminal lawyer. He's just a guy that will, again, answer the phone, and then he'll repeatedly call the police station to get every single detail possible, and then badger the nearest bail bondsman to the brink of insanity. That's just who Dom is. A great friend, a a nosy son of a bitch. And the guy everyone looks to in their moment of need. I could give 100 more compliments. I could go on about how handsome he is, but you guys all got eyes. You can look at him. I could brag about how he truly is the Barry Bonds of Cornell Little League, setting equally unbreakable records for most home runs of all time and highest testosterone levels ever recorded. Or I could tell a story about Dom's legendary high school years and the 3 state championships, or about cooler times like that one time before a sectional basketball game in the B gym when, how long I've been going? I'm over my 7 minutes. I gotta stop that one there. So I'll end my speech with this. There's a line in my favorite movie, Stand By Me, which was also your first dance. Nice. Where the narrator writes, I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? And the truth of that line chokes me up every time. There really isn't anything better than an old friend. The friends you've had since you were 12. Thanks for always being that friend for me, Dom. It's an honor being your best man today. Couldn't be happier for you and Hannah. Treat her as well as you treat your friends and you guys will be just fine. Congratulations, man. I love you. We got one more rule. Time for a toast, y'all. Raise your glass to the hottest, chillest couple I know into a lifetime full of love, adventure, and good health. To the Scabos, we say whoop on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cheers, y'all.